Hello and welcome back to the Land Rover Toolbox videos. Today we're going to be looking at gaskets, but first of all I'm just going to show you this nice little bit of equipment which is from Bearmark. This is BA4888, which is a wheel step. It's a fairly sturdy piece of kit and it helps you get to the places that you can't normally get to without a bit of a struggle. A very good industrial type non-slip surface. And it is also handy if you happen to have a roof rack, or in my case to get up and have a look at the state of the roof, which is rather filthy, to be honest with you. Okay, so this thing has pins and arc clips and it's extendable, means you can move it about for two different heights and wheel widths as well. So it collapses down and folds out just like so. There's a brilliant bit of kit. I should have found this a little bit earlier. It would have made life a little bit easier. One thing you have to watch for is the fact that the handbrake or loose diffs makes it rock a little bit, so it's worth chocking the wheels when you use one of these. Okay, right, we're going to talk about gaskets briefly, and this is a cylinder head gasket in a packet, which is the tin gasket, £40 from Land Rover, or variably cheaper from Bearmark. Okay, what you're seeing here is the head gasket set, which doesn't include the head gasket. Okay, these are the stem seals and washers. You have your manifold gasket, and also you have your rocker cover gasket, and you have the EGR gaskets. Okay, this doesn't come with a head gasket. This is the bottom set, or the bottom engine set, which you have all you need for gaskets, your cork seals, and etc. etc. What you don't get is the 300 TDI Teflon seal, which is important when you're doing any engine rebuild. Right, so this is a composite gasket set identified by 3 holes there, which will be the size. Now, okay, this is a much older engine. This is the 2.5 NAD. It has the head gasket and everything you need for the top part of the engine. Here are quality gaskets. This one's genuine Land Rover, and this is not cardboard or gasket paper. This is slightly better quality. This will ensure that it doesn't leak during a service operation. There are plenty of cheaper gasket sets and you get a stiffer, thicker cardboard. Now these are just cut out on a machine. The bonus here is that you used to get gasket paper, make your own gaskets, and basically this is just a quick, easy way of having a decent gasket. You'd have to be really hard up if you couldn't afford a gasket and had to make it out of a cornflakes box. Always try to go with OEM if you can, and the gaskets and O-ring sets here are from the Bosch VE pump. This is an overhaul kit, and you need to be OEM on this one. You can't skimp on it. Right, so the RTV silicon, this will be like for the sample on the 200 and 300 TDI engines. This is becoming ever more popular as a gasket sealant. You'll be using this on an R380. You can see there you need to use it quickly, otherwise it tends to go off in the tube. But it's excellent stuff. With silicons, only use it when it's required or when it's advised by the workshop manual. Right, so gaskets, well, these are extras from gasket sets from previous engine rebuilds. It's always worth keeping these gaskets. If you have plastic bags from deliveries or wherever, keep them safe, don't get them crumpled up. Now, these gaskets here, they're tin gaskets which are crushable. They're also used in the extremely hot part of the engines. There's no substitute. They're also bendable. Now you can see this has got a kink in it. Now that's been rendered useless. This one's the exhaust gasket. This would probably make the exhaust leak. Not something you'd want to use if you want to get it right first time. Right, so this gasket's a little bit straighter, and the raised edge here, or the impression, is the sealing part. It's crushable, so you can use the gaskets only once. Head gaskets, especially this tin one, are very vulnerable, so using a couple of bits of stiff card, wedge it in between, and then keep your gaskets stacked until you use them is the best way to go. This way you'll have reliable gaskets. Right, so we're going to do the lift pump here. This is the 300 TDI fuel lift pump, and it's in a very tight place right down here. It's worth removing the air filter to get to it, but we're also going to have to strip off a few more components. So this step that you see at the start of the video, yes, it's brilliant and it's handy. I've been using it just for a couple of days now, and it helps me get into those places which otherwise I'd have to struggle and lean tight onto the wing. So I've got the test engine here, and what we have is a lift pump, and I'm going to show you what you need to strip out. Basically, consideration for any components you're going to strip. We have some fuel lines that we need to remove, and we have fuel injector pipes. Right, but these need to come out of the way so we can access the lift pump retaining bolts. Now I'll just get this pipe out of the way, and then I'll show you down here. The bolts are right on the block here. 200 TDI engine, the lift pump is easier to get to. The nuts on the injector pipes are 17mm, and you need to remove number 3 and number 4 injector pipes first before you can get to the back ones to undo them. Alright, I'm using a flare nut wrench here, and perhaps I'll use the right size. Best spanner to use on flare nuts, which are the nuts that hold the injector pipes on. Right, so we're there. We can see the nuts now. There's clear access, so all we need to do is remove the fuel pipes, making sure we know which way around they go again, and then after then we can get the nuts, which sometimes can be Allen key headed bolts. Okay, well actually they're bolts, not nuts, so there you go, those two there. Easy to do. Screw them off, take the pump out. Lift pump unions are usually about 14mm or 9/16. 14 seems to fit on this, so easy job. Just a little bit of a fitter's hint here. Once you've got the bolt out, then you're going to put your finger on it, hold it onto the socket, and then lift it out of the way, like so. You see where I've held my finger? This will stop the bolt from dropping down where you don't want it to. Believe me, sometimes they can get lost and you have to run around finding another bolt from somewhere. Right, so lift pump is off. The first thing you'll probably notice is that there's going to be diesel everywhere, so be prepared for this. Alright, see that? A fair bit of diesel contained, and that'll end up on the floor and all over your engine, plus any engine oil that happens to be in the lever part of the lift pump. Right, so we're not changing the lift pump, but if you were to, then that's easy enough to do. The gasket here is what we're interested in, and I'm using a razor blade type scraper. These are not for hard gaskets, these are for taking gaskets off like this, or small gaskets. And what you need to do, as a bit of advice, is remove the whole of the gasket without anything left behind, and it can take some time. Remember that you want to do all mating faces, especially if you're fitting an old component back. Just use a blade, and what you're looking for is a finish like this so you can see the machined face. You also see that we've got a little bit of gasket swarf in the holes here, and these can be removed easily. I would advise having an oil change if you have any gasket swarf drop into the engine. Usually you'd want to time it at the same time as changing your gasket. And the other way you can do this to stop any gasket swarf in there is put a little bit of grease into where the slot is, okay, and then scrape your gasket off so the grease itself will capture the swarf and it won't drop into the engine. This is one way around it. Okay, so it's a matter of just using a screwdriver or something. Don't use air. Don't blow it out, because what will happen is you'll blow dirt and swarf into the slot which goes into the engine components. Just a thought there. The genuine gasket, ERR 1607, is made of this material, which is not just paper. However, it does not stick to the metal surface, it slips off. And you can struggle because it's tight in this place. You need a little bit of a technique to keep it in place. Generally, I'll shy away from using gasket sealers and use a little bit of grease instead. This is an old-fashioned fitter's trick, which just basically makes the gasket sticky enough to stick onto the metal surface. Any other proprietary gasket sealers, well, there's no point. You may as well just use a silicone on it, which isn't very good anyway. Okay, so basically that's using a bit of grease, sticking the gasket into place, and then the lift pump can be put back on or replaced or fitted like so. You can see there the gasket hasn't moved, even if I've moved the component just slightly. This leaves you room to maneuver, especially in a place like this. This is why I've chosen showing you this lift pump gasket, because it is an awkward job to do. When you screw the bolts down, screw them down in stages. This will add even pressure, and don't forget it's also spring loaded on the levers, so you want to get it right. Torque it up and then you're away. Okay, injector pipes fitting the other way, fit them back, fit the pipes on, and then bleed the system, which is basically pump it up to the filter or to the pump and then crank it over till it starts. Changing a gasket like this, you're going to get engine oil and diesel, so be aware of this. Environmental considerations, you need to collect it under your engine when you're doing this job. So I've finished this little job. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm now going to put all these gaskets away that I've got collection. You never know when they come in handy. As you can see, I've got a special drawer and I packed them away just nicely so they don't get damaged. You know as well as I do, Land Rovers like leaking, so it's a constant battle to try and stem the flow of incontinence.